It's pretty obvious the Phillies need help at the MLB trade deadline. Yes, they're a good baseball team. Are they World Series worthy? Well, not without some help, in our opinion. We're going to tell you who the Phillies should get at the MLB trade deadline coming up. All right, Jamie Lynch, Violations, Greg with you. The MLB trade deadline is just a mere 3 weeks away or so. I believe it's the 29th off the top of my head without doing any research.
It's like, this is like the time of year where it's like when you were a kid. I don't know. When I was a kid, there was the Sears holiday wish book.
Well, now it's the Amazon
You look
guide.
through and you're like, oh, these are. So I feel like, yeah, we get to put together our wish list for what we want to go into the postseason with.
So should we start with the bullpen? Because I think that's the most pressing need.
Yes, everybody.
We have about 2 guys we feel good about in the bullpen, and that would be Orion Kerkerine, who has, I think, transformed himself into a possible closer.
Yeah, he's developed into a closer. He was a guy who looked scared at the beginning of the year, and now he looks comfortable in high leverage spots.
High leverage guy. I hate that about baseball. Like, the closer's just dead. It's just high leverage guy now. It's fine. It is what it is. But
Let's just say pressure situation.
You can just call him a closer, right? Like, we can still call him a closer.
No, you can't call anyone a closer these days because he might come in the 7th inning or the 8th inning, Jamie.
So stupid. But Orion Kerkerine and Matt Strahm. Strahm's been taxed a little bit because I'm still mad at Alvarado.
Dude, he threw a giant monkey wrench into this.
Still mad. Tanner Banks, you feel like okay about and
hated
lower,
him, but now he's looked
in some
consistent.
lower leverage spots. You at least kind of feel like you know what you're getting.
Yeah,
but the bullpen is bad.
Yeah,
overall,
it's thin.
It's very thin. We'll start with the bullpen. The other position they need help with is outfield. Left field has turned into an absolute disaster. Otto Kemp has kind of saved their bacon a little bit, but you don't really want to go into a World Series aspiration run here with Otto Kemp as your starting left fielder.
And I'm a huge Otto Kemp fan, but I think he's a nice right-handed bat off the bench. Like the Weston Wilson position role. I don't want him. If we can upgrade him, yeah.
They do have some outfield flexibility in that you can slide Brandon Marsh over to left field. He's been playing better as of late.
Yeah.
The reality is Brandon Marsh is going to be a playoff contributor. You need the best Brandon Marsh you can get here. So you can go for center field or you can go for left field. The most pressing need that Dave Dombrowski and Preston Mattingly and Sam Fuld are going to be facing here is upgrading this bullpen. So let's start with a couple names there, VG. There was a rumor out of Pittsburgh this past week from one of their sports radio station that the Phillies have been in talks with the Pirates about former pretty good closer David Bednar and Santana from their bullpen. Dennis Santana, who signed a 1-year, $1.5 million deal with the Pirates this year, has been phenomenal this year. If you can get a 2-for-1er in a trade and double upgrade the bullpen in one shot, I'm all in on this. I think this is a great move. Santana, if you're unfamiliar with him on the year, already 36 innings pitched. He's got a 1.50 ERA. His whip is a very sexy 0.78. My man is balling this year. I like Bednar a little bit. He's gotten better since he returned from injury, started the year off terribly. If you can do this deal and get Santana and Bednar, to me, this is kind of like the ultimate trade deadline move for the bullpen.
It's done. It's a done deal with the bullpen. If you can get both of those guys. Yeah, Bednar started off rough. They sent him down to AAA. He got his head right. And since he's came back, he's been legit good. And Santana's been ridiculously good.
So good.
And what I like about the Pirates is that they have a ton of pitching in the pipeline. So you can get away with giving up some position players, which I'd always rather keep the starting pitching, controllable pitching if you can. So I think, the Pittsburgh seems like a perfect matchup. I'd be willing to give up. I mean, I may have to Crawford. You might have to give up a position player like Crawford to get him. But you're getting 2 arms, 2 legit arms.
The problem that the Phillies are facing, and John Middleton feeling the pressure, like this window is closing on this core group. You are at the final stages of pushing all in or not. And I'm with you. If it like Mick Abel, I'm not going to think twice about in a move like that.
No.
Crawford would give me a little hesitation, but it's not going to stop me from doing a big upgrade situation. But you need bullpen help, and Bednar and Santana would be, in my opinion, a home run for the Phils.
They may have the best bullpen in baseball if you add those two.
I mean, Bednar, I'm looking at his MLB Savant right in front of me. A lot of red on his chart graph. Same with Santana. These guys, look, they haven't played in huge pressure situations in Pittsburgh this year.
They haven't played in front of
maybe ever
8,000 people.
So a bit of a change coming across the state.
Yeah.
But I think both of us agree that's like That's tier 1, and then everything else is below it.
Yeah, Bednar's played in the Padres. They actually get more fans than they do in Pittsburgh. But I think his ERA is under 3, which after his first 4 weeks, I think is a huge improvement. I think he's got 42 strikeouts in 30 innings.
He's a big K guy.
Yeah,
which is great.
you like the big K guy. So yeah,
doesn't put a ton of guys on base. Doesn't get a ton of chase rate. But his fastball velo has been good. He averages about 97 on that. His expected, batting average against opponents is really low. I think those two would be absolutely phenomenal.
He's used to playing with not a lot of run support, so tight windows.
We got you there, buddy.
Yeah.
All right, a couple other names out there right now. Some of these are going to be determined in the next 3 weeks. Do the Tampa Bay Rays fall out of contention? Does Pete Fairbanks become available? He's been a name that's been mentioned a good amount the past 2 years. If he became available, I would have interest in him. I like Pete Fairbanks a little bit.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm out on Fairbanks.
Yeah?
I don't know why I am.
He's never really put together the obvious stat lines, but I feel like he's a solid pitcher you can at least count on.
He seems fine, I guess. He feels like an Austin Hayes
a lot of barrels
guy, I feel like.
I see where you're coming from there.
He doesn't move the needle for me much, but I mean, he's better than what we have.
He's better than what you got. Yeah. Sitting on average 97.2 miles an hour on his fastball. You can do a lot worse than Pete Fairbanks, that's for sure. But we'll have to see how the Tampa Bay Rays, who are currently about 2.5 games out of first place, fall in the next 3 weeks.
They're always there.
I know. They're such a well-run organization.
Always there.
A guy that Jim Salisbury mentioned to us earlier this week who was high on his list, the Cuban Missile, Aroldis Chapman. Again,
100% in on this.
Depends how the Red Sox fare these next 3 weeks. The problem with the new expansion of the playoffs is a lot of these teams feel like they're in it until the bitter end.
I don't know what their bullpen depth looks like, but there's been so much chatter about him being available. I tend to think they try and move on from him if they can. He's a free agent. He's having another good year. He feels like a Dombrowski kind of guy. And I don't think he's going to cost you a ton.
No, I don't think he would cost you a ton, but the Red Sox have to make the determination of we're done.
And the issue with all this is that there's 6 other teams all looking for bullpen help too.
Yeah, every playoff team pretty much is going to look for
you're going to have to overpay
or bullpen help. The next name on the list is a division rival. I feel like he's been tied to the Phillies a little bit, having a little bit of a down year, but he's racking up the saves. He's got 18 saves on the year. Yep. His whip is a 1.16. The ERA is 2.60 in 31 innings, 25 strikeouts. Kyle Finnegan from the Nats.
Yep.
I'm not opposed to it. He doesn't wow me. I'm not doing naked cartwheels down Broad Street.
All right.
But he is better than what we have.
I think he's a legit upgrade. I don't know. He's been playing on a team that's been out of it in meaningless baseball.
His
forever.
MLB Savant page is not very sexy there, VG.
You love this.
I do love the Savant.
Out.
Yeah, I like to Savant it up. But I like it. It would be good. It would be an upgrade for sure.
What's his fastball velocity there? 96.
Yeah, not bad. Next name on the list, little Felix Bautista from the Baltimore Orioles.
Let's fleece these guys.
Yeah, I think the Orioles' entire team outside of Rutschman and Gunnar Henderson is available at the trade deadline. They're going to come up again in the outfield discussion. Felix Bautista, 1.15 whip on the year. His ERA, 2.73. Almost 30 innings pitched, 43 Ks. He has a 97.3 average fastball, doing really well on whiff percentage and K percentage this year. I would like Felix Bautista.
Yeah, I'm all in on this guy too. He's got legit a closer role experience. I think he's got 30 saves the 1 year, 33 saves in 2023. Yeah. You can't go wrong with Felix Bautista.
All right, next name on the list I am totally out on. Kenley Jansen.
Out.
I'm out on him. I don't want to touch him. I don't think he's an upgrade at all.
Anytime we've seen him as an opposing pitcher, I never am worried. I feel like I have hope we're going to get to him and win the game. So no.
Yeah.
No.
And then the last one we'll talk about is Ryan Helsley from the Cardinals. Again, This is one that kind of sits on how the Cardinals do the next 3 weeks. A looming free agent, not going to cost you a ton, theoretically. Are you in on Helsley?
Yeah, I'd be in on him. There's a lot of smoke with that, too, all season long. So I think even though the Cardinals are playing good, I think he's someone they're going to try and move off on.
And knowing Dave Dombrowski and the way he works in the shadows, who they trade for in the bullpen will probably not be one of these names we just discussed. That's the way it works. Sorry. But I think we both agree.
Any of those.
Yeah, any of them are good. Bautista excites me. Finnegan is an upgrade. Chapman is an upgrade. Fairbanks would be an upgrade. But I think the home run move there is to get Bednar and Santana out of Pittsburgh.
If you can get 2 of them in one deal,
done.
No brainer.
All right, let's move to a couple bats that could help out this Phillies outfield. Now, I got my guy. My home run move here is Adolis Garcia. Get that swagger, that flair, that mash home run ability playing in Citizens Bank Park in a red October. And I feel like he's somebody that could bring a new level of energy to this team. Struggling a little bit this year, but we've seen him thrive in the past in the postseason. I'm in. I want Adolis Garcia.
I agree with you there. I like him. I wish they would have made the move 2 weeks ago because he's starting to turn it on a little bit.
Chill out, bro.
He's getting some RBIs, a couple dingers, but he was brutal for the first 2 months of the year. But yeah, total swagger guy. I have no issues at all with the Dude,
he's probably number 2 on my list. And like he does, after he hits one, he does this. Like seeing that down the first
inning last night.
Yeah, dude. Citizens Bank Park is gonna erupt.
Yeah.
Your boy, Eugene Suarez.
Yeah, Eugenio Suarez.
Yes. Where the hell does he play, VG? He's a third baseman.
Yeah, third base.
Bryce Harper's not going back to the outfield.
He's gonna hit 40. All right, then Bohm can play the outfield. I don't know. Trade Bohm for him.
That's what we need is the drunken giraffe in the outfield.
Out for him, man, because Eugenio in this lineup from the right side, he'll hit 50 home runs here. I think he's on pace in the last 12 months, in the last 160 games from last year to this year. He's got like 50 home runs. Yeah.
Since July 1st of last year, Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani are tied at 57 home runs. The big dumper, Cal Raleigh, at 53 is in second place.
Big dumper.
And then in fourth place, your boy, Eugene Suarez.
Yeah.
Eugenio sits at 50 home runs. Kyle Schwarber at 46.
Yeah. Diamondbacks kind of in it still, but they don't have enough pitching to make a good run.
Mick Abel would appeal to them.
Mick Abel, controllable pitching is very enticing to the Diamondbacks. I would totally.
I'm out on Suarez.
I would send him and Bohm for Suarez.
I'd love Suarez's pop, but somebody that played the outfield. I think you get too complicated there. Cedric Mullins, another name from the Orioles. I'm out on. It feels like just a baseline replacement type of player.
I'm not a fan. He's from the left side. We don't really need the left side. He had a hamstring injury. He had a really great 6 weeks to start the season. He's been pretty mediocre, if not below mediocre, since coming back.
Yeah, I'm out.
He's on my fantasy team. He don't even make the starting lineup on my fantasy team.
He's not even on VG's fantasy team.
He's on it, but he's just bench ridden.
Yeah. Out on Cedric Mullins. Next name, Ramon Laureano. I have some interest there.
Sure.
Mild.
Not super excited.
Not super excited.
No.
You pointed out he's got 10 home runs, his most since 2019. So maybe there's a little uptick in the pop there.
Yeah.
You can do worse.
That's
you
the
can do
most
better.
he's had, yeah.
Brandon Lau is another guy having a pretty good year. Again, depends on, do they move him? I would have interest in Brandon Lau.
He plays outfield and second?
Yeah. You're probably going to sacrifice some defense there when you're putting him in the outfield, but you can put Marsh over
I am
left.
so out on worrying about the defense in the outfield
me too.
At this point.
You need
the whole
bats.
point of having Marsh or Rojas or Marsh in center field is to make up for the slugs.
And with this starting pitching, I'll take my chances a little bit. Now, this next name does intrigue me. He's always injured. He's always up and down.
Don't say Mike Trout.
But no, God, no. But if you can get the good Luis Robert.
No, dude.
Give me Lou Bob, baby.
I couldn't be more out on this guy.
Oh, I'm in.
He's a head case. He's a me guy, and he's always hurt.
And he's going to hit one to Patterson Ave, and the place is going to erupt.
He'll hit one.
Yeah.
One to Patterson Ave.
But it'll be a great one.
I mean, it probably would be, but no.
I'm a little bit in on Luis Robert. I don't want to overpay for it.
But
he could be one of those buy low. And
you were gushing over him last year, too.
Yeah, Lubo, that's my boy. And then the last one, Dalton Varsho from the Blue Jays, a center fielder primarily.
Plays great defensive center field.
Really good defensively. Offensively, he's not qualified for a lot of stuff so far this year because he hasn't played a ton. He's okay. It doesn't really do much for me.
I think the only other thing I would kick the cans with the A's, and not for Mason Miller. They got a log jam of big guys who play outfield and DH. And Tyler Soderstrom's a lot of controllable years, but they need controllable pitching desperately in Oakland. And Mick Abel, and I don't know, you can find another pitcher in A-ball, I think. He can get you maybe a Soderstrom.
So we both agree the moves the Phillies should make. Go get Adolis Garcia.
Yeah.
Go get Bednar and Santana from the Pirates. And let's march down Broad Street this October, maybe November, whatever it is. Let us know in the comments who you'd like to see the Phillies get at the upcoming trade deadline. That's a little bit of our thoughts on the MLB trade deadline. The Phillies definitely have to upgrade. We'll see what Dave Dombrowski's got up his sleeve. And I'll leave you on this.
All right.
Very unimpressive trade deadline so far for
the last
Dombrowski.
two have been horrible.
I mean, last year they went for the right position. They got, but like it's time to go all in.
He owes us.
We need you. Leave in the comments who you want to see the Phillies get, and we'll see you soon.